Hi, tweeters.
Hello.
Well, you're not saying hi to the tweeters. You're saying hi to the YouTubers.
Hi tubers.
Because the tweeters.
You have to tweet to the tweeters.
Right.
It looks good.
So I'm gonna copy that real quick.
I'm gonna copy that real quick too.
All right. So the plan is, the format that we do is the first segment is called the What's Up segment, and that's usually just me and Lane. And then the second segment has had Taggart on it for the last couple of weeks, and that's like how we do our guest at this point.
Okay.
But I don't want to do it that way since we've got the four of us sitting here.
Okay.
So
you guys can still do your what's up part.
Yeah.
We won't talk.
I just want to, before we get to the computer part, I want to just talk about the wrestling shows that we went to last week, because that's the opening segment is like our current events of sorts. So I would like to just go over that real quick. And then since you were there at one of them, that makes it cool too. So then that segment will end, and then I'll stop Audacity. YouTube runs the whole time. And then we'll start up another segment, and that segment will be going through the computer parts.
I'm good right here.
Okay.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
I think so.
It's not very hard.
I'm not very smart though, so it makes it harder.
Gotcha.
When you're dumb.
I'm a lazy.
We got all the parts behind me there, so we can like kind of go through
Gotcha.
the parts. I think that'd be fun to like show them on the thing.
Did you catch the tweeters?
I just tweeted it on Howdy Inc. Now I just gotta retweet it online.
Say what up, tweeters. Tyler said, what up, tweeters?
Yo. Tweeters. Tweeters. Yo.
Is that how he talks?
Yo. That's how I talk in podcasts.
Is that how he podcasts?
Yeah. Yo.
You're not gonna answer me?
Today is the Nintendo Switch's second birthday.
Yeah, fun, silenced, and all that good fun shit.
Uh-huh.
Did you? Oh, that's got my own notification.
You're one of the tweeters.
Yeah.
How about chat?
I'm not worried about the chat. Too much shit going on, and I already don't know what all I'm doing here, so. You better monitor.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dual monitor setup.
Alright, blah, blah, blah. So I can't get, like, the computer in the shot whatsoever.
Why not?
I just can't.
Four of us barely fit in the shot as it is
So,
on the computer.
maybe at the end,
You can show it?
I'll try to show it. I have a problem with this webcam, but it's when it's hooked up to the Mac, so it might not do it here. But sometimes if you just like bump this webcam the smallest bit, it will kill the video feed, and the only way to bring it back is to completely restart the PC, the computer. So hopefully that's not the case here, because maybe towards the end I can just kind of grab the camera and just like kind of show in it. You know?
Yeah.
But there's a possibility that that will kill the stream if we try that. So it would make sense to do it at the end, I guess.
Well, yeah, because you don't want it to kill the stream in the beginning.
Yeah. I don't know. Or I should try it before we go live. But fuck it. Let's just go. And speaking of but fuck it, there's no cussing on Howdy Radio, the next generation.
Oh, Jesus. Can I say Jesus?
Yeah.
No?
No,
Yeah.
we got a large
You are
Jesus
very close
movement.
to me.
We have to be close together, Tyler. There's no way.
Tyler's not even in the shot.
Because
I'm fully being pushed out because Wayne has
Okay, Tyler, go up there and take the whole monitor and move it this way a little bit so that the camera points over this way a little bit more, because there's a little bit of extra room over here.
And I can lean.
There's no room for you. That's much better. Very cool. That's a cool shot. We should do this all the time.
Then we wouldn't have a kitchen table to eat dinner on.
Okay. You kind of have to talk like right into this thing. Like you really can't like be lounged back here and talk into it. Like you have to talk into it.
Okay.
Okay.
episode 482.
Ready?
I don't know what we're doing, so you keep saying ready, but I'm just following your lead.
Mm-hmm. That's all you gotta do. Cool. Is everybody ready?
Yeah.
42, right? Yes. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Howdy Radio, the Next Generation, episode 42. I'm Brandon.
I'm Lane.
And we've got two special guests with us right off the bat. We got Tyler.
Hello.
And we got Liz.
Hi.
We got all four of us.
All four of us.
That's awesome. When's the last time all four of us did a podcast? Was it the
Disney episode that never got released?
It never came out.
I mean, nobody even heard that.
So when we did that, we only had the blue snowball mic, and all four of us sat around the table and talked into just the blue snowball, and it sounded terrible. So like the two people that were sitting here could be heard, and then the two people that were on the ends of the table, like
Which
you
was
couldn't.
me and Tyler.
Correct. You couldn't hear them at all, basically. So it was such a long episode, and so much of it,
Full
the
pipe.
volume was so quiet that it just never got released. It didn't sound good. Sounded terrible.
Well, it was fun making it.
It was. I mean, I still have the files if we ever want to go back and listen to our 4-hour-long rant about Disney.
It wasn't a
Then-
rant.
Or
Isn't a rant a
episode.
negative thing?
I don't think so.
A rant
It's
is just.
snowing a lot
Brandon's
outside.
just talking a lot about something.
Oh, I always felt like rant was like being angry about something and talking a lot about it.
Not necessarily, I don't think.
Okay.
All right, so
I
we
just want
got.
to make sure it was clear I wasn't angry about Disney.
Okay. So we got all
Disney
four of us
Garden.
on the episode today because last night we all built a new PC together.
Yeah.
We bought all the parts, we put them all together, and we just wanted to talk about that whole experience, what we bought, what we like.
And you can
all
watch
that good
the
stuff.
whole entire process, a 3.5-hour long process, on our YouTube channel of Howdy Inc. that you're watching this on at the moment.
That is very true. 3.5 hours from start to finish.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that here in a little bit, but before we get to that, we wanted to talk about a couple of the wrestling shows that we said that we were going to go to last week. So, Lane, where did we go first?
We went to NXT down in Columbus, which was our first NXT show that we have gone to.
Yep.
But it was very fun. A lot of the main people were there, which we were actually very shocked by, because that's not usually what WWE does. They never usually put the main card people on the house shows. It was really fun.
I think everybody I wanted to see for the most part was there. Ricochet being the main one. He was opening match, so that was cool.
Yeah.
It was a very cool venue. It's just a rock club, basically, that they kind of convert to wrestling for the show. You've been there before, Liz, to see Social Distortion. We saw them there.
We saw Social D inside. I saw ICP inside
Okay.
of there at one point as well.
Gotcha.
And then we saw.
Whoop whoop, Liz.
Oh, geez. Then we.
Smoothie would love it if he heard a whoop whoop from you. Just saying.
Why?
Just saying.
Whoop whoop, Smoothie.
There you go.
I was there with Kyle.
Yeah.
Kyle and I think Derek and Paula went to see ICP there. And then we also saw on the outside part of there, we also saw Queens.
Yeah, they had
On the
a
outdoor
poster for
side.
that show. They had a poster for the Queen's show and the Social D show, both that I had been to at that place, hanging up on the wall. And me and Taggart saw Clutch there as well.
But so that means with the Social D show, that means that I hadn't been inside since before Lane was born, because that was in 05.
Gotcha.
So
It was a cool place to see wrestling. We had general admission standing room only tickets, which going into it, we were kind of worried about how that was going to play out. But there ended up being bleachers in the upper level that you were able to sit in. But you had to stand to really be able to see the matches, though. But at least you did have an option of sitting at times. So that was cool.
Yeah.
The way that because we were on an upper level and you were like looking down on the ring, like the very bottom part of the ring, like we couldn't see really well. So we didn't have a great view of the whole ring, but the rest of everything else, it was great.
One time they did a spot up there, and I just yelled, "Hey, can you guys do that again? We couldn't see it."
Yeah. It was cool. We sat in a section of a bunch of people that were into all elite wrestling and the Bucks and all that. So it was cool to see that kind of wrestling in the WWE universe as well. It really is spreading, which is cool.
Yep.
All right, so that one was a lot of fun. We went to Columbus. We met up with Kyle for a minute before we went to the show because he picked up tickets for us. So it was cool to see Kyle. And I think that was about it for that one.
Yeah.
So then Liz went with us to her first wrestling show ever, or first wrestling show in a long time. The next night, we went to 2 wrestling shows in a row. The second one was Rockstar Pro in Dayton. They did a show with Impact Wrestling. What did you think of that one, Liz?
I just want to make sure we're clear. It wasn't my first wrestling show ever.
First indie show
in
15 years.
A lot, nah, not quite that
A
long.
decade.
Yeah, probably 10 years. Because when we were going to HWA, Lane was little.
Yeah.
So, it was that during that time. But it was fun. It was the first time I'd been to a kind of small venue show in a long time. And so it's just a different vibe. It's like when you go to an E show, you're just kind of like watching, but I feel like when you go to an indie show, you're much more involved in what's going on because you're just like right there.
It's just way more fun.
Yeah, and because there's not as many, like they need everybody to feed off of, so then you kind of get into it more. I did at one point throw Lane in front of me to protect me because there was a Dayton street fight happening right by our feet, and I didn't want to get hurt, so the great mother that I am, I threw my teenager in front so that he got hurt, not me.
And then the guy threw the other guy on the ground, grabbed the ring bell and the wrench to hit the bell with, and put it on the guy's nuts and hit him. That's what she was protecting herself from.
Yeah.
You can find that on my Instagram.
I don't know what was going to happen. I wasn't sure. So it was better for me to just grab a hold of Lane and put him in front.
A bunch of Dayton tables.
Dayton tables for sure.
It was a very fun show. We met Brian Cage. He's one of my favorite indie wrestlers out there right now. So we got.
Called me Lynn.
He spelled Lane's name wrong on the picture that he signed for us. But the picture was the main thing. Getting the picture made with him was the main reason we met him. I don't really care about autographs quite as much, so that was cool that we got to meet him.
He has lots of veins.
He's huge.
He's a big guy,
he's
but
roided out.
Yeah, for sure. His veins are like monster size.
Yeah. He's a good wrestler. Though. He's a huge, bulky guy, but he does some really cool stuff. He doesn't like just suplex people.
Yeah, But there was others that were really big there that did some really good stuff too. There was a couple that were bigger guys that actually did good stuff, like were pretty agile and were doing those kinds of things. And then there was one big guy that was there that was good because when he wasn't playing the big guy role, he still did well, I felt like. But then he also oversold his big guy image. Yeah. And so like he went really slow and like when they
overselling it, that's just his character.
Right, his character is overselling. That's his character. Is like he would go really like he would run into the ring ropes and instead of like jumping over the guy that was in the middle, so like guys in the middle laying down and the guy runs into the ropes and instead of just like jumping over top of him, he would like really slowly 1 foot over the other.
One time he went around the guy.
He did. He was like, I'm just gonna go around. Yeah,
that's funny.
But he was really good. We liked him.
Impact on their social media, because they showed the show that we went to Friday night on their show Saturday night, and they posted that clip on Impact social media of him coming through the ropes real slow and then knocking everybody down outside. And there was a couple comments that said like, wow, it looks like that crowd is having like as much fun as you possibly can at a wrestling show. And
we were hype at that point for him to do that.
So it was cool that somebody else watching the show recognized how much fun the crowd was having.
I think the best part was like, at indie shows when something really good has happened, and I'm not allowed to say the word, but people say holy S word, and then like chant it. And like when something really cool happens, everybody gets really hyped. So when the bigger guy did it, and it was funny, like the point was it for it to be funny, we all started chanting holy S over and over because we were all into it. It was pretty cool. So.
The shows are great. I had a good time on that one. Which one did you like better, Lane? The first Rockstar show or the second Rockstar show?
I liked the second one probably because it wasn't so long.
Yeah. Although we totally still got our $12 a piece worth. It was still a pretty good long show, though, I feel. And this one was, it was a joint show with Impact Wrestling. So there was a few different Impact wrestlers there. Johnny Nitro or Johnny Impact or whatever his name is, being the main eventer of this show.
Johnny
Impact.
No.
Johnny
Mundo. That's what even though I knew him when he was in the E first, I know him from Lucha way for a lot longer. Yeah. So I called him Johnny Mundo the whole time because I couldn't remember what else to call him.
I don't think his name was Johnny Mundo What was his name in the E?
Johnny Morrison. John Morrison.
John Morrison, and then he was with the other M guy. No, the other N guy.
I recognize the name John Morrison, but I haven't recognized any other.
He was
So
with
the variations of his name is depending on what company he works for.
Well, originally he was Morrison with Eminem.
Yeah.
With the girl. Remember when we were watching the Rumble Tyler, and there was the girl who just screamed obnoxiously for no reason.
Yeah.
That was him. And so then he's gone to other feds since then. And I remember him as Johnny Mundo when he went to the Lucha Underground that we used to watch all the time. And, but that he was there. He was at that show.
He was the main event for this one. So it was cool to see him in the main event. It's cool being able to add these names to the list of people we've now seen live, since we get to see some cool shows like this now.
Can I talk about one other group that was big for me to see there? So we talked about that I hadn't been to an indie show in a long time. Back in the day when Lane was little, we used to go to HWA, which is a small fed, I guess is the word I'm supposed to be using, that was local here. And when I mean local, I mean it was 5 minutes, 10 minutes away from where Brandon grew up. That close is where we used to go. And there were people that we went to high school with that worked with the Federation and all these things. But there were a pair of brothers that were there. We were all really young at this time. We were, in our early 20s, and so were they. And we would stand outside and smoke with the wrestlers and just hang out and bullshit with them and hang out and just talk to them or whatever. And so those two guys, they were called the Irish Airborne back then, but now those guys are really big in this new fed that is happening, as well as Impact. I guess they travel with their Impact wrestlers also, right? So they go to different ones or whatever.
Correct.
But it was crazy because I remembered them as babyface, and I don't mean that as a wrestling term, but actually completely clean shaven. They were really young, and then they came out and they just looked totally different. But it was cool because that was the same federation that we used to see Dean Ambrose. He was John Moxley back then, but he was there together with them. So it was cool to see those.
The person behind us called him Johnny Moxley.
I heard somebody say
called Johnny Mundo, Johnny Moxley?
No, you were talking about Dean Ambrose.
Okay.
Johnny Moxley.
Okay. So we used to see them all the time, and so it was cool that we have kind of this group of people that we saw at their very beginning, and kind of where they all have gone at this point and what they do now.
Yeah, they're the main guys in Rockstar Pro. They are over as can be. Every time one of them comes out, the crowd goes completely nuts. Yeah, they're awesome.
Yep. So yeah, that was cool for me too. It was kind of a full circle type situation.
So will you go back? Do you want to go to another show?
I think so, yeah.
Good. Tyler, are we ever going to convince you to go to a wrestling show with us?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully too. I was hoping you were going to go to this last one, but it wasn't able to happen.
You would have liked it.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll have fun if you ever get out to one with us. All right. Is that enough wrestling talk?
Yeah.
It can be.
Let's talk about building a computer.
We ended last week's show with, okay, we talked about wrestling, video games, and music again. Let's challenge ourselves to next week not talk about those things whatsoever.
Well, that would be you'd have to do something different in your actual life.
Right, and then and then as soon as I said that, I was like, crap, we're going to 2 wrestling shows this week, so of course we're going to want to talk about it next week. So, but that's all we're going to talk about because now we're going to talk about a computer.
Okay.
All right.
Which in the long run is kind of like talking about video games.
Crap.
What did you do?
Pause on that.
Did you stop it?
We don't do a full thing. It's in the segment.
Oh, I'm so confused.
You didn't used to do that, did you?
No.
We've done that.
Yeah, it's the way we've done Howdy. The next generation.
So what kind of gun training did you guys do?
What? I didn't live. I wanted to see what it was. Triple Frontier.
Did you say Triple Frontier?
No, Triple Frontier. Yeah.
Groove Music is what opens a WAV file on Windows now, apparently.
What is? Wait, what?
Groove Music. I need VLC player badly. Or maybe Winamp.
Oh God.
Might go Winamp. Because I don't really use an audio player much, so why not just use Winamp?
Audio's good today on Raw.
Alright, we ready?
The Usos.
Yeah, what were we talking about?
Building a computer.
Yeah, what about it?
Just kind of go through the process of what we bought, how we put it in.
And try not to drain it out too long. I could tell that we're going to kind of drain it out.
It's drag it out, not drain it out, but
Drain it.
did we talk too much about that, you think?
No, not even a little bit. I mean, don't be that way.
Oh my, why everything that I say is it
Well,
all
because what you're saying is not cool. You're the one not being negative. You just, like, was talking shit about Tyler, like, you're going to drag this out. Tyler spoke 2 words in the last segment.
And just wanted to know what we were talking about or how we were talking
I
about
wasn't
it.
directly talking to Tyler.
You said Tyler.
I did not.
Okay, we're moving on now, because I don't. Let's just go. All right, ready?
Yep.
All right, so let's talk about building a computer. We built a computer last night. I don't like that intro. Hold on.
Just kidding.
Welcome to Howdy Radio.
God, our fucking chair.
I just had to get
I know.
situated again. I'm sorry.
My chair downstairs is an official member of the Unknown Podcast because it gets just as much mic time as anybody else does. It's an actual thing. And then now we're sitting up here and all 4 of us are fucking moving around.
I can order it today.
Yeah.
What chair? What?
Stop.
Don't look at me like that.
Stop. Okay, are we ready now?
Okay, cool.
Why'd you look up when you said
I just want everybody to shut up. Ready?
Yep.
All right, last night the 4 of us sat down and built a computer together from what?
We didn't sit. We were standing.
Okay, last night we stood up as a family together and built a computer together from start to finish. Everything was different pieces and different boxes, and now we are using that computer to record and stream this podcast, which is pretty awesome, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and in one day, building a computer and already streaming a podcast on it.
Yeah, that's super awesome. So
less than 24 hours ago at this point, there were still things on their way here.
yeah.
They weren't even all delivered
Right.
24 hours ago.
All right, so I want to just kind of go through the process of how we build it. Not really like too detailed or nothing, but just kind of talking about what parts that we bought and, you know, if we had any problems putting anything together, what we enjoyed or not enjoyed from doing it, and what we learned. Cool?
Cool.
So I've got, this is where it comes in handy to watch us on YouTube because there's going to be visuals for all of this. So I'm going to start with where we started, which was, so I found this guy on YouTube. I was looking for different build ideas. I wanted something, you know, where somebody kind of laid it out for me, like, you know, this part, this part, this part, this part, so that I wasn't trying to figure out whether or not this part worked with this part or not. So I wanted to find, you know, a build list, I guess is what it's called. So, and then this guy put it all together on YouTube. So I was like, that way, you know, I've got, you know, a visual already of where everything goes and somebody kind of showing me how to do it, as opposed to me trying to figure it out myself and getting really angry or texting Kyle every 5 minutes for my tech support. So I thought it worked out pretty good this way. So this was the motherboard that we started with. There's all kinds of stuff in this box. It is an Asus B450MA CSM motherboard. So that's pretty cool, right? Mm-hmm. So that's where we started, was with the motherboard. We got that out, and I think it looks cool, right?
Yeah.
I was just nervous about it because, like, that was the part.
Earlier on, we were told that if you were too aggressive with it, it's going to snap in half, and that was anxiety overload for me instantly.
Yes.
That makes sense.
And, like, you were talking about, like, static electricity and, like, frying the whole thing, and it was a little nerve-wracking at first, but...
Yeah. So, I guess before we really even jump into the pieces, I jumped ahead a little bit. So so the people sitting at this table, I know me and Liz have built computers and, you know, replaced parts and stuff in the past, but it had been a while because we switched to Mac computers like, what, 7 or 8 years ago or something like that?
I think it's been longer than that. A little over 10, because we were...
All right, so
You
somewhere
had your
around
Mac
there.
at the apartment, and if we've been here for 7
Yeah,
years, it's
we were,
been-
it's been
Yeah,
7
correct.
years this week, so
You're right.
probably 8,
Yep.
9 maybe.
So
It's been a while.
We had built computers in the past, but it had been a while. So Tyler and Lane, had either one of you guys had experience?
not in the slightest.
I-
I'm the least tech savvy of the family.
I haven't had experience of building a computer. I've had experience of taking apart a computer. We
Okay.
took apart the MacBook
Mm-hmm.
to put in a new hard drive.
Mm-hmm. That is true. Our hard drive was crapping out in the MacBook, and we put a new solid state in it a little while back. So Tyler, being the least why are you the least tech savvy of the family?
I don't know. I just feel like everyone else knows the lingo, and I don't feel left out of the loop because it's not really my cup of tea, or it wasn't until last night because it was pretty interesting towards the end.
Tyler really jumped in on some parts last night.
I like the nitty grittiness of it.
Yeah. So all right, so we had 2 people that kind of knew what they were doing, 2 people that were pretty new to it, but we hadn't done it in a while. So I was
like
kind
I
of anxious
knew...
about it because like I hadn't done it in so
Right.
long. But once I kind of watched this guy's video and saw how like, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here, it didn't really seem like, this is something that we couldn't do.
I felt like it was something that we could do, though I think my experience with it in the past had been that it was supposed to be easy, but it didn't always go the way it was supposed to go. So it was always like, there's always that anxiety of, oh, not only is this not going to go the way we want it to, but for us at this point too, like in the past, we hadn't really done builds, like we had just done like upgrades on things. And so in the past, it was like, okay, I spent this $35 on this RAM, and I'm going to put this RAM in. If it doesn't work, it's $35. It's not the end of the world. But in this situation, I felt like it was a little bit more anxiety because we spent a significant amount of money to get all of these components.
Exactly.
And so, because there was talk in the beginning about whether we were going to get one that was already pre-made or whether we were going to build. And so there was some anxiety about, okay, we spent all this money.
Right.
What if we do crack this motherboard in half?
Yeah.
What if we do fry the processor? What, like all those things. Not only does it suck because you're in the middle and you're trying to get it done, but it also sucks because you spend a significant amount of money to be able to get these items.
Mm-hmm.
And, how does that translate later? So.
All right, so now back to the pieces then, I guess.
Yeah.
So the motherboard is where we started, and the motherboard's pretty awesome, right? So then we went with this dude, which is an AMD Ryzen 5 is the processor I bought. It is a 3.9 gigahertz max boost. It is 6 cores and it has 12 thread processors. I said I won't build a computer if it has a less than 12 thread processors.
You don't even know what the hell that means.
I have no idea what a thread processor is. I had never heard that term until I bought this thing. I have no idea. So we went with AMD because it's usually a little bit more budget friendly than the Intel versions, and I've used AMD basically in everything that we used to do PC wise. So I was pretty good with going with AMD on this one. So that let's see, who put that on? Who attached that to the motherboard?
Processor.
The processor.
That was me. I dropped the processor in the little slot.
Yeah.
But I screwed it in.
You screwed in the heat sink that went on top of it.
Yeah, but as far as
that came in that box as well.
As far as placing the processor on the motherboard and then dropping that little lever, so that was Tyler. So how did that feel? Was that fun? Because they always say like, don't push it down, don't push it down. Make sure you just gently lay it on there and then pull the handle.
It was pretty cool.
Did it feel like you knew like right when you laid it down, like you could tell that it was where it was supposed to be without having to push it down?
You could feel the grooves underneath it. You could feel it just fall into place.
And then that little handle went down.
I pushed it down, but apparently I didn't put it in the right spot.
Oh yeah, I kind of had to like go. Yeah,
actually like push it in place.
Gotcha. So you got to actually.
I just clicked the handle over.
Did it feel good to click it?
I mean,
was it like oddly satisfying or whatever it is?
Not that one. There was others that happened later that I was like, okay, that was
Stay
better.
tuned for what Liz thinks is oddly satisfying when building a computer. So I'm pretty happy with our processor. It's not top of the line, but it seems to be more than middle of the line-ish is where it is. So yeah. AMD processor.
So in that box also
yeah.
was the heat sink, which
The
is
heat
what
sink,
Lane was
yep.
talking about.
So we had to take a couple little brackets off of the motherboard so that that would fit on, and then that's when Lane came in and screwed that on, right?
Yeah.
Was that oddly satisfying?
No.
Yeah.
Just screwing it on.
Gotcha.
And it took forever too. We had to do the cross, and not everything was going. The screws weren't going in the right places.
The screws weren't like down as quite as far as we felt like they should have been. Yeah.
Yeah, so we had to mess with that a little bit.
Yeah.
Actually take it back off and then readjust the screws and then put it back on.
Yeah.
And that was when you could tell that because one of the things, right, because one of the things that Brandon was concerned about was that it said in the build list or whatever that the heat paste was already built into the heat sink. But you couldn't really see it. But then when we put it down and tried to screw it in, it didn't screw perfectly. We pulled it back off. Then you could see that there was the heat paste was where it needed to go. So even though it was not working properly,
I think thermal paste is
the
word
sorry.
we're actually looking for.
But even though it didn't work out perfectly the first time, it was kind of a positive because then when we took that off, we were reassured that it was there correctly.
Yeah, good call. Yep, so it was there. So that was good. And then I think after that, did we go to the RAM? Is that where?
Yes.
So the RAM, sorry for our stupid squeaky chairs that I know everybody's going to hear the whole episode. So we went with 8 gig of Ballistic Sport, Ballistic Sport gaming memory. 8 gigs, 2 4-gig sticks is where we went with that. I'll probably upgrade that sooner than later, but as of right now, we're going to stick with 8. So I think Tyler, you put in 1 stick.
You put in.
You put one, I put one.
The first stick because I had it upside down,
backwards. Yeah.
And then readjusted it.
RAM's kind of fun to put in just because it makes that side little clicky thing come over when it's put in all the way. Mm-hmm. You don't have to move that little notch back over. It just clicks into place when it's there. So I got 4
parts that I thought I was going to split the motherboard in half. Gotcha. That required a lot of force to get the thing click.
Yeah. All right. I got 4 slots for RAM in there, and we've only used 2 of them so far. So I got 2 more open. So, and the RAM itself, the guy that built this kind of went with this whole like white and black theme inside of the case. So the RAM is white itself, and there's a lot of white trim on the motherboard. And there'll be some more white parts later that we get to as well. So 8 gigs of RAM. I think that's kind of the basic right now. Is 8 gigs is kind of it's becoming like the minimum requirement for where everything is. So I'll probably have to go up to 16 eventually. But that's a nice thing is that I don't need to do it now. I can do it later. So that was cool, right?
Yep.
What was next?
We did the power supply next.
Power supply.
No, I think we worked with the case first, didn't we? Because we had to get
we had to throw the motherboard.
The motherboard had to click in.
To the keyboard.
Well, let's get to the keyboard here in a little bit. So the case, I can't really show you guys the case at the moment because of how we're set up here, and I worry that my webcam will crap out if I move it because that has happened a lot of times in the past. So at the end of the stream, stick around. I'm going to try to show the inside of the case better then, but I'm a little worried to do it now because I don't want to mess up the webcam.
But I think the part with the case there was, it was about getting the, the cords needed to be moved towards the back a little bit more, and getting the, what is that, IO shield? Is that what it's called? The IO shield, so that like all of the components can be attached into it. So there was a little bit of a struggle there because you had to bring the motherboard into the case exactly so that the IO shield didn't block where components could come in. So we had to do that a couple times to kind of get it right where it was supposed to be.
Yeah, I set the motherboard in there probably 7 or 8 different times because I had to take it back out to run a cable behind it at one point, and yeah, that was kind of a pain in the butt. But it wasn't so bad.
But there was like and I think that was where Tyler got to the point where he was like, okay, I like this, because then it was like, okay, see these 4 holes? we need these screws in them and the pieces that go, how you make that happen, and like getting all of that set up. So it wasn't just about the technical side of it. It was there was a little bit more mechanical things that I think Tyler enjoyed in that stuff as well.
For sure. We got that in. So we didn't attach the motherboard yet because the guy recommended that we didn't, because we needed to run a cord behind it. So we did.
Which was the power supply.
Which leads into the power supply.
Yeah, there we go. So the next stuff was the power supply, in which is this dude. It's a 600 barbecue. That's all we're gonna call it. We bought the 600 barbecue model of power supply to run our awesome new computer. So far, it seems like it barbecues well.
How do you feel about the barbecue, Lane?
I feel like I thought it was an
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a good barbecue, I think. And
It's very well done.
yeah.
It went in upside down at first.
Yeah, we had it in upside down at first.
That was a good joke, Tyler.
That was a good joke.
I hate you so much.
All right, so yeah, it's powering everything, so it seems to be doing its job pretty well, right?
It has the big snake cord.
We can play
It does.
Fortnite on it.
The cord that's coming out of that thing
I think
is,
the cord was ridiculous.
yeah, it's still kind of like,
Just there.
protruding out.
like, I mean, we overall did not do a great job with the whole wire management thing, but that dude just, it's so huge and thick, I don't know what you're supposed to do with it.
That's what she said.
Shut up. Jeez Christ.
This is a family-friendly show.
Yeah, so is The Office. The Office is family friendly.
That's true.
All right, so then what did we
It was
do?
then.
And we did the solid state and the hard drive.
All right, so we got two different hard drives. I don't have the box that the hard drive came in was not worth showing. It was just a cardboard box, and it's just a 1 terabyte Western Digital drive. But then I got a PNY solid state drive for my main drive for my operating system to live on. So I got a 240 gig solid state and a 1 terabyte hard drive inside, and then like a billion external terabytes downstairs that still need to be hooked up to this thing. So that was that one was a little bit hard because we weren't exactly sure. There's a little enclosure inside the case that the hard drive's attached to, and they didn't attach kind of the way I wanted them to, the solid state at least. And I was trying to leave a third cord open, and then we put the hard drive, we screwed it into the wrong place on the bracket, so then we had to change that. And it was the wrong way. We had to switch it the other way because the cables were coming the wrong way. So that part was kind of stupid. Annoying is really the only, it's the best way to say it.
I think it was annoying because we were getting close to the end. We had been doing it for a long time at that point, and then things started.
Literally just upside down.
Yeah, things were starting to be a little trickier, and we were not as patient because of it, because we had already been doing it for so long.
Don't worry, them Mama laugh-hearted and the vibes in the room.
That's true.
We were able to get through
Can
the whole
we
computer
address that it was if you watch the stream.
I'll watch the stream. It's
the live stream is literally 3.5 hours
it's fartastic.
of farting and putting together a computer.
Yep.
I think the quote of the night last night was, "It's a little ridiculous that you get as much joy as you do out of talking about farts."
That was me.
Liz loves farts.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. But then we were kind of getting annoyed with each other and just annoyed at the situation just in general. So we were kind of getting a little standoffish, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then
so much to the point where I was sitting on the couch while you guys were figuring out which way the hard drive.
Because everybody just needed a break.
Yeah.
Right.
And then so we were trying to get the hard drives in, and then I farted, and it stank. And then Liz was like, "Did you fart?" Like she was mad at me about it.
I started laughing.
Right.
Every little
and then I
she
said,
had
right.
was a fart.
Well, no, hold on. So she said, "Did you fart?" Like mad, like legitimately mad at me. And I was like, whatever, man. Like I farted. And then like I thought I heard her fart, and I was like, "Did you just fart?" And then that made her start laughing, and then she farted like 13 times in a row, laugh farting, and then everything was fine, and we finished our computer. And that's our show. Goodbye, everybody.
Oh, geez.
Wait, when did I have to put the 6 cords, maybe there was 8 of them, in through to make the power button and the U? And
that was when we put in the power
The power
Yeah.
Supply.
That was my
So
favorite
that
part.
was pre-hard drive. Okay, so there's not much to say about the hard drives, except for they were a little annoying of which way to go.
In part.
So oh yeah, and the fart part. So yeah, I think it was before that was running all of the wires from the front of the case to the motherboard, which is there's two USBs up there. There's a reset,
power, a headphone jack.
I don't know why I'm saying it. You're the one that went through it all.
Yeah, that was it. And then there was an LED part as well.
Side note: first computer I've ever run that has a reset button, which is pretty cool.
And I made it work.
So yeah, all of those have like their own little cords that come off. And a few days ago, Kyle mentioned to me that when he did his last build, that was the most annoying part of the build was to hook up all of those front ones. So I said, disclaimer.
So we gave it to Tyler.
Yeah, I don't feel like we gave it to Tyler. I feel like Tyler wanted that one. So I gave that disclaimer. I was like, just so you know, this is what Kyle said about it. So, think about that going into it. But Tyler did it. I don't think he messed any of them up whatsoever.
Nope.
How'd that go? Did you like, that was kind of your favorite part, was it not?
Yeah, for sure.
Why was that your favorite part?
Oh no, it was kind of just me doing it,
Mhm.
except for Mom helped me run the snake power supply
Mm-hmm.
cord back through the case.
But as far as all those little ones, plugging them in, so
We're
there's
doing the little things.
how many
so it goes
little
along the way.
pins are there that were on the motherboard that we're talking?
So there was the USB. There was one that started with an H.
HVAC.
Yeah.
It's
No,
not HVAC.
It's not HVAC. HD audio or something like
It was
that.
something
or-
like that. Yeah, it was that.
Not HVAC.
And then there was I think it was power. There was a negative and a positive.
Okay.
Then there was the reset, and then there was the LED.
Okay.
And power negative was its own prong, and the positive was its own prong. Then the reset had two prongs, and everything else had two prongs.
Okay.
It had to go like in a specific
Mm-hmm.
spot. It had to click in properly.
And so we got all of this information from the dude on YouTube that we watched.
We heard the information.
yeah, so
but
this part
I kind
was-
of went into a blind because the man's hand was in
Yeah.
the way the entire time
Yeah.
he described it.
He's like, this one goes here, this one, and he says it all within like 7.5 seconds because of the way that it's edited. So that one was kind of hard to be able to follow along with, but it didn't matter. Tyler got them all in there just fine. I think they all work properly. I don't think I've used like the headphone jack up there yet.
But the USBs we know
But,
work because you guys
yeah.
use controllers up there, and
Yeah.
obviously the power button
Power
works.
and the reset button works. The only thing I think I haven't tried is just the audio part of it, but I would assume that
If
there's
all the
something-
other ones
Yeah.
work, it has to be in the right place,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, it's just one of the things like, okay, I still haven't checked this, I still haven't checked
Right.
this, just to make sure. But I have no doubt that they'll be just fine. So that was your favorite part, so that's cool. I like that was your favorite part. Because I was watching that part of the video and I was like, I don't like that part. So I was glad you did that part. And you liked it, so
Mhm.
bonus. All right, well, what was after those little plugs?
What are those called? Graphics card?
Was the graphics card? That was it?
Yeah, that's
All
the
right.
box stuff we have.
So that's the big one.
Big boys.
So that is, this dude is the one we went with for our graphics card, is the Radeon RX 580 MSI AMD Windows 10, all kinds of letters on the back of this thing. It's an 8 gig graphics card, and I heard it's pretty nice. It is VR ready, so at some point on down the road when we're ready to start looking like idiots, we can buy some VR stuff.
Hashtag Howdy Radio plays.
Howdy Inc. plays.
Howdy Inc. plays.
Yeah. So that one, that was pretty easy. Tyler, I think again you removed the two little expansion slots
Yeah.
there. It takes up 2 slots. The graphics card does in the back. A couple HDMI's on there. What is that, DVI? I don't even know what all of them are. Looks like maybe I can run 2 monitors out of there, both HDMI, which would be super cool. I'd love to have a second monitor.
Yes, please.
But that was pretty easy, and just the screw that holds it up into the bracket up front. It made me, at first we were looking at it upside down because the fans point downward, and for some reason I just assumed that they pointed upward. But I felt like it was a little wobbly in the back because there's not much to hold it up back there, but I guess it's fine.
Yep.
I guess it's fine.
Yeah.
Hey, the computer's
That
working.
was my
We're
one
recording a
complaint of
podcast.
the whole night, was it? the Wiley family likes to get 2 out of 4 and pass it off as okay.
Yeah.
And I eventually spoke up, and like we were able to
We
like
did.
fully get all 4 screws to put the case back in for the solid state and the hard drive, which just looks nicer than 2 screws does.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that does.
fully did it.
That is something that we do sometimes. Like, oh, whatever, it'll hold it, good enough, and we move on. And
But we didn't this time. We
Yeah.
we
Oh, God,
stuck
we
with
did.
it
Yeah.
and did what needed to be done for
Mhm.
sure.
All right, so graphics card went in. From there, we put some LED lights inside of the case. The case has a clear acrylic side to it, which is super cool that you can see into the computer. So there's some lights. And so, you know, you're looking at the side of the computer and it's a square. I bought 1 pack of lights, which is what the guy said. So there's a strand of lights going across the bottom and going across the front, which leaves 2 sides not covered in lights. And Liz is like, you need to get 2 more strips so that it can be like a complete box there, which is a complete square, which is a good idea, I think. So I'll probably order those here soon.
Who knew that I would be the one who told you that you needed to order more stuff?
Right. Especially more completely pointless stuff to go inside the
that you
computer. Yeah.
originally said we didn't need.
Yeah. So then this dude, because I don't know if, I think all of his builds that he does, he puts a Funko Pop toy inside that like matches the colors that he does. So this one, what was the one that he did? Venom.
Venom is who
Venom,
it is.
because there was a lot of white and black, so he put a Venom pop in there. And I liked the idea because it looked cool, first of all, and it also kind of covered up some cables as well. But I don't have Venom, so I grabbed a Batman and put him in there, and I think it looks pretty cool.
66 Batman.
Is that what it is?
You.
Yeah. So that looks cool, I think. But once it gets moved down to the basement where it lives, I don't know how well you'll be able to see Batman chilling down there at the bottom.
But you'll know he's there.
But I know he's there. Yeah,
He's there protecting.
and it's a cool use of a Funko Pop that I already had. So
He's there protecting.
I thought about
the
putting my
computer.
Michael Myers NECA figure in there.
Oh my! You can put him in the side where you have all
No.
that extra space.
That's what I thought.
No.
Why?
That's a, I don't know.
You
It's a
can't put
really
them
cool figure,
both
and
in
that,
there,
that goes
though.
on display. That doesn't get stored in your computer.
Okay.
Because you said you had an extra of this Batman, correct?
It was, I mean, not an extra. It's not like a second one. It was just one that's been sitting in the basement for.
Exactly.
5
So
years,
you
it's whatever.
But you just got your NECA. There's no way you're going to put it in your computer.
I don't think you can put both. I think you have to
Yeah, I'll
pick
just
one
leave
or
it.
the
I'll
other.
just leave it as Batman. We'll call it the Bat-Pewter. Bat-Pooter.
No, you can't call it that.
So I gotta order a couple more LED strips, and I think I'm gonna order another couple fans to put in the front of it too, which was something that he had recommended, but he said you don't need them. But I guess I could just kind of track all of that stuff and see if it's running too hot, and then decide if I need more fans. But a couple more fans ain't gonna hurt nothing.
Okay, now. What?
Your obsession with this keyboard is a little
I
funny.
like this keyboard a lot. It's the keyboard.
Here's the box for it. It is made by Razer, and it is called somebody.
Cynosa
Chroma.
Cynosa Chroma is what it's called.
I know the chroma too.
Oh my.
Sai does and me too.
Stop it. So that's our keyboard, which we got right here, which I can kind of maybe hold up so you can see on the stream. It's got a ton of different colors, and you can change the colors in a program and make them.
You gotta put up the
things
longer.
and
Yeah, so you gotta
everything.
leave it up there so they can see that it changes. Yeah, it changes
Yeah.
color.
There's different things you can do with it to
You need to put
where
it back on.
like it'll be all black, and then like as you touch stuff, like where you touch, like that key and the couple keys around it will light up, and that looks pretty neat.
You haven't looked at it, you guys just take it over.
But there's ones that just like it just goes back and forth real fast, or there's one setting called fire that's like all
Red.
like red and yellow and orange looking, and it looks super cool. I think that was my favorite, was the fire one. So yeah, it just keeps changing. And Lane was saying he was playing Fortnite earlier, and when he went into the circle, that the whole keyboard just turned purple, which was super cool.
When he was in the storm.
In the
Yeah.
storm, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, that's what I meant. So we got everything put together, and then we went to turn it on last night, and I was fully expecting all day long to turn it on or to press the power button and for it not to turn on. That's just I was worried that that's what was going to happen.
Hey, I did my job.
So I was
How the button works.
I was kind of worried that, that could happen. And it did. So I pressed the power button, and nothing happened. And then immediately I remembered that I forgot to plug in the other side of the cord to the wall, and that would be why it did not turn on. I plugged everything into the little power strip thing, didn't plug the other end of the power strip into the wall. So we got a good laugh out of that. Everybody was like, oh man, like my heart dropped because it didn't work, and it was because you didn't plug it in. How stupid are you? So pretty much. So then I plugged that in and turned it on, and it fired right up. All the lights on the inside.
No. The lights on the inside did not start the first time.
Yes, you're right.
So my one hiccup. I put the LED strip of the prong into the motherboard upside down.
That's right. You're right about that.
But it took us about 30 seconds to take the screws off the side, pull that cord, flip it over, put it back in, put the screws back in, and then when we turned it on, then everything turned on. We knew that was the only issue, because when you turned it on in the first place, the computer booted, you could see the fan running, you could see everything doing its thing inside, and the monitor turned on. So it went to the BIOS setup screen and all of that, but the LEDs didn't come on. So then,
well, the fact that however many different things get plugged in this thing, which we could go through and count if we wanted to, but we don't need to. Out of all of that, out of only one thing that had to be fixed, I guess, really, by pulling it out and plugging it in the correct way, that's pretty good. That the only thing that got really messed up was just the LED lights.
Yeah. And it was easy. And it was super easy. Like we knew exactly where it was. Yeah. We knew exactly what we needed to do.
Yeah. But it's almost like I'm kind of glad that happened, as opposed to not that it's not cool to just it all work on the first time, but when you're building a PC, that stuff does happen. So the fact that we at least did have one little troubleshoot thing that we had to do, but it wasn't a major one whatsoever, was very nice.
Well, and just the fact that we knew how to fix it. It wasn't just okay, well, now what do we do?
Right.
We knew exactly what it was.
Didn't power on, it's okay, now what? What is the problem in there that's causing this not to power on? And that would be obviously a way bigger problem than LED lights not working, but yeah.
But I still think, honestly, just you saying that, I think we would know where to go to try to figure that out. Is one of the pins that Tyler put in for the power button, that would be the first one. Is that one not in the right spot? Going and making sure that all of the power components were plugged in the right way, because we knew those things.
Yep.
I think when we got to that point, I think we felt more comfortable with, if something happens, where do we go, what do we fix, rather than it just being kind of a mystery overall. So
yeah. Definitely. So it looks awesome. After that, it was time to install Windows on the computer, which I thought was going to be the easy part, but neither one of my Macs, my MacBook nor my Mac Mini, would allow me to make a bootable Windows USB thumb drive, and it should have just been the easiest thing in the world to do, but I kept getting errors every time I was doing it, and it made me very, very mad. And I was up till 3 in the morning working on that last night before I finally gave up, which was almost as much time as we spent building the computer itself.
I went to bed.
Yeah, I should have. And then I woke up this morning and we got with the guy that lives across the street from us. I know he's a computer guy, so he's like, yeah, bring a thumb drive over and I'll load it on there for you. I was thinking if I couldn't do that, I was going to run over to work and do it over there. So, but it was very nice of him to do that. So I got that this morning, brought it home, put it in there. Windows was installed within 20 minutes and we're up and running.
So that was just a Mac issue.
Yeah,
it had nothing to do with us, our inability to build or inability to get the information that we needed.
It bugged the crap out of me that is what I had a problem with.
Right.
It's just making a bootable USB drive.
But it was the Macs that was causing trouble.
Yeah.
So, but and I know that was frustrating, but I think at the same time it wasn't a us issue. It wasn't something that we couldn't do. It was something that the machines that we had weren't able to do. They couldn't.
But they should be.
I know.
There's a thing built right into the Mac OS that's select your Windows IS. It's specifically for making a Windows bootable, and it aired me out every single time.
I think that's Apple's way of being yeah, we're super compatible. No, just kidding.
Right.
We're really not super compatible. Right. We just pretend to be super compatible.
Yeah. We know there's a new Windows machine in your house, and we're
going to make it to work. We're going to make it as difficult as possible for you to be able to use it.
That's exactly what happened. Stupid Tim Cook. I was mad at him last night about something.
What were we mad at him about?
I don't know.
we weren't mad at him, but we were saying.
The downfall of Apple.
Yeah.
Tim Cook, yeah.
Well, we were saying, we like took out like the HDMI or something like in the Mac Mini, and you were like, Mac Mini, I was like, no, what are you doing to me? And we were like, Tim Cook just got an email. It's like, Apple user just switched to Windows. Quick, give them a free U2 album on iTunes.
So I had a blast building this thing. I thought it was fun. I thought it was really cool that the four of us all, we all contributed evenly. Like everybody did a lot of work everywhere, and I think that makes it even cooler.
Mm-hmm.
So Tyler, you've never really showed much interest in like building PCs or PC gaming or anything like that. So you really enjoyed building this one. Why did you enjoy building it so much, and do you think it'll make you use it more often?
It'll definitely make me use it more often, and honestly, I don't really know what it was, but just, I don't know. I like building things.
Yeah, it's just fun to put
when it's
stuff
your own
together.
creation, it means a whole lot more than just going to Micro Center and buying yourself a computer.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the fact that the four of us can sit here and make a cool sounding podcast with some good microphones and stuff like that, all off of a computer that was in 12 different boxes less than 24 hours ago, and now it's up and running, and that's because of us.
Yep.
That's a good feeling. How about you, Liz, compared to like the old builds that we do or the old stuff like that? Like,
okay, so
different experience. Very
definitely different experience. Partially a different experience because we were working with all new components.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why we had so much trouble in the past is because we were trying to upgrade old components.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes it was like we were asking it to do this really cool thing, but the rest of the components were just like, dude, I still can't do this.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes there was, and like you said before, like why we wanted to do it off of this guy's build and the build list was because you had to know what's compatible with what. And how many times did we used to go and buy RAM and it'd be like, oh, this doesn't even fit.
Yeah.
This isn't what we need. We need to do something else. So it was a more positive experience in that way, though there was more anxiety attached to it because there was so much that went into it.
Yep.
But I enjoyed doing it with the kids because I think that I hate to be like the kids these days, that's not what I mean, but like I don't feel like there's it's really easy to just go and buy things and then you just have it. You have no idea how it works. You have no idea what the inner workings do.
Yeah.
You don't know why they do those things. You don't know how to fix them if something happens. And kind of we live in a world now which is kind of like a throwaway. Like we buy things and then when something happens, we just throw it away.
For sure.
But I think when you can see in this type of situation, oh, there's multiple components that go into this whole thing. And if something doesn't work, that doesn't mean we just take the entire piece and throw it away. It means we have to figure out what the problem is and how to fix it. And so I think it was a good
and let's throw that out there, that is the reason why I've switched back to a PC from Mac, because of the whole throwaway thing. The way that a Mac Mini desktop is designed, it's throwaway. Like you can't get in there. You can't, if the graphics card craps out on you, you can't get in there and replace that or anything like that whatsoever. So if it dies, you're kind of out of luck. So at least this way, if my graphics card craps out, it's just my graphics card, and I can go buy a new graphics card or, any.
And I think for us, the family dynamic of it was nice to be able to, because it's like there's lessons like all through it. Like even when we were talking about like when we were screwing on the heat sink, we talked about doing it as an X and making sure that we do that. And then I believe it was Lane, maybe it was Tyler, I can't remember, but one of them said, it's just like a tire. You can't do it in a circle. You got to do it as a star. Well, but you said something about it being like a star. You're supposed to do it like a star, right? But it shows that, again, that's another area where we can say, yes, do we change our own tires on our car? Yeah, we know how to do that. And the boys have done it, and they can see it. The same kind of thing applies to electronics in the house. Okay, you know how to do it. You know how to put it together. And so it can be, when they go away to college and their friend's hard drive craps out on them, then they're like, I can help you with that. Let me go fix them. We get this, and we have to replace it, and this is how we do it. And, that it's just a skill that's worth something. That, when you go to college and your hard drive craps out, you spend $100 on a new hard drive instead of spending $1,500 on a new computer. You have, it just is another skill to build. So that was what I liked about it.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. So what about you, Liz? You built this thing. You ever going to use it?
Sometimes. I won't use it for gaming like you guys use it.
You're not going to become a hardcore PC gamer now?
No, there's podcast notions swirling, so that might be something that I use it more for. But
that's exactly what you should use it for.
But that's all, really.
Yeah.
We're playing Dr. Mario.
No.
Yeah, I said you want me to put the NES emulator on here so you can play Dr. Mario.
And my response was, we don't need another thing in the house to play Dr. Mario on. We have one already.
And I said that's
Just
ridiculous.
like
We actually have the
we have multiple.
We have the actual Nintendo with the actual Dr. Mario cartridge.
Which is how I prefer to play it.
Yeah.
Because even when
but it
we
also
got
has
like
to be on every device that you can put it on.
I disagree. I don't feel like it's necessary, but okay.
It can't not be. That's
okay. I disagree, but that's okay.
Lane and Tyler, what are you looking forward to doing with this thing?
Playing a lot of games.
No.
I want to get into PC gaming.
So you want to play Fortnite and Rocket League on the PC?
Okay. Now, I want to play a lot of CSGO.
Yeah, you were playing that for a little bit earlier. How'd that go?
Oh, that's a main one that I've been wanting to play for a long time.
Did it run well?
It played very well.
It looked like the graphics were really good.
Yeah. Like, there are a couple games that, aren't, used for Xbox. It might be on Xbox, but if you see any pro or anything playing on it, they're not playing on Xbox. They're playing on keyboard and mouse.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's a bunch of games out there, a bunch of free games that I've been wanting to play on keyboard and mouse for so long.
Cool. So, what do you want to play, Tyler?
More. I feel like console gaming has really hit a wall, and now everything, like the Xbox exclusive games, are just all first-person shooters, and they're part of the series.
See, I want you to.
So I want to branch out.
I think you would enjoy, like we were talking last night, like the dungeon crawler kind of games.
Yeah,
like
I want to play Oblivion on this again.
Torchlight.
No, okay. Don't.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Play a new game. Don't play.
I never beat Skyrim. We'll play Skyrim first.
Yeah.
I don't play an old game. This is like a huge graphics card.
Yeah, you do that. You add the mods to it, and
look at how amazing Skyrim is going to look.
If you play Skyrim with the Thomas the Tank Engine mod, you can play it. It's Thomas the Tank Engine.
With the Thomas the Tank Engine mod?
So that is the dragon. The dragon is Thomas the Tank Engine.
Oh my goodness.
It's fantastic. Anytime that
yeah, that's where I plan to go. I plan to go RPG more, and I want to do more adventure kind of games that isn't the norm anymore on consoles.
Mm-hmm. The first game I played was Fire Pro.
Of course it was.
In Japanese.
In Japanese, because I installed it and it installed in Japanese, and I can't.
We've been playing Yakuza, so I assume that you understood.
So you know how to speak Japanese, right?
Oh, God. No. Yes.
We did get a new game that came with the processor.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. We get
the
the Division 2. It was AMD. If you bought an AMD Ryzen 5 or 7, you got a free copy of a free code to download the Division 2, because it's not even out yet. It comes out in a couple weeks, I guess. So that's super cool. So that'll be, a brand new game that we'll really be able to test out how this thing's going to do.
Yeah, that's a huge game. That's going to be so pretty.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. That'll be a fun one to check out for sure. And it's a Tom Clancy game that I don't really know much about, so I'm sure I'll like it. I just got to kind of dive into it and check it out.
Yeah.
I can't wait to just do all kinds of cool podcast stuff with this thing too. We've started the process of buying stuff for a green screen that Kyle recommended to me from a couple IKEA parts that I went and got, and now I just need the green screen itself. So maybe next time we do this, this will be the last time you see whatever is actually behind us.
Yeah.
Next time it'll be
like our home. We could make it like Hawaii or something.
Yeah. So Smoothie tricked us one day in the unknown pod chat. He was talking about how he was straightening up his basement, and we kept giving him crap about never hanging up his green screen. And then finally, he posted a picture, and his green screen was behind him, and we're like, oh my God, you finally hung up your green screen. He's like, yeah, I'm down here, straightening up and getting everything ready and whatnot, getting all nice and organized. And then he posted another picture, and there was this nice looking entertainment center behind him and all this stuff. And Kyle's like, dang, you got it cleaned up. I didn't even realize all that stuff was back there. And I was like, whoa, that looks totally different. And then we were both like, oh my God, he's got it on the green screen. It just looked like a different room. It was just like he was in somebody else's basement room,
That's
but
funny.
a really nice looking one.
That's
it was hilarious. I mean, he literally tricked me and Kyle both, and he's not sorry that he tricked us either.
Oh, jeez.
But it was cool. So that's what we should do. We should just have a backdrop of a nicer house.
No, Hawaii. Hawaii.
we'll be able to show video games that we're talking about in the background and all kinds of cool stuff. I'm looking forward to that. Green screen is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Cool?
Cool.
All right, we'll just wrap it here instead of doing another little segment like we normally do. So Liz and Tyler, thanks for joining us.
No problem.
Thanks for having us.
It was very cool to have all four of us on the show. We'll have to do this more often. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Definitely.
All right, so go to howdyinc.com and, download everything and check out everybody else's podcast as well, especially Kyle's. And Smoothie recorded a new pod. Oh, wait, that's not a thing yet. No, never mind. Smoothie did not record a new podcast, I don't think. Whatever.
Wow.
Yep.
Nice job.
We're never real good at endings around
Yeah,
here.
promo's not your thing.
Nope. All right, so that's it. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Do you guys want to do an intro and outro? Because you guys have a special guest and me and
Well, that was our outro. We just finished it right there.
Oh, you guys want to do the intro? Because we hate the intro. What think about the show?
Not really. I don't like it.
It is.
Oh no! I do not want to do it.
Mama?
Speaking by myself when I don't have a topic to think about.
What are we supposed to say?
So it's like a 5-second little blurb. You can say like anything. Doesn't have to explain anything. You can say like, "Wow, I haven't done a podcast in a while."
That's it.
You can say that.
Say that.
Tyler can say, "Can we just talk about farts all episode?" Or it literally does not matter whatsoever.
Shut up.
The hot corner thing is something I'm gonna miss dearly from Mac.
Not being able to throw your mouse over the side.
Top right corner, and it goes to the desktop. There's this down here that goes to the desktop, but that's good. The hot corners on Mac.
Are you gonna edit this now, or is it? Or am I allowed to play for a little bit? Oh my god!
We've been in here for an hour.
Yeah, I mean our episodes
My
are
butt
about an
hurts.
hour long.
I didn't remember that. Boom. I'm not complaining. I just didn't realize how long we did here.
As you can say, Brandon and Lane told me to do the intro, but I don't know what I'm supposed to say. And then Tyler
And I'll do
say,
the something versus a rapper, but I won't say that part. I'll just say no, and then that'll
You
be a
just
part
say
of the show.
Farts versus
Laughter.
Laughter, farter. No.
No, it's box.
We know what it is.
No, I don't.
Laughter versus farter.
Nope. No, because Mama is the laughter farter. She's not going against herself.
Farter versus laughter.
So what am I supposed to say?
I don't care.
Just say something. When you press record, say something.
Ready?
This is the intro that they made me do.
Laughter farter. No.
Yeah, that's the outro, Bojack.
It's okay.
But it also kind of sounds like the Twilight Zone slightly, so it's like spiraling into the episode.
It's like the
Yes,
most
so there.
obscure BoJack reference that anybody's ever made. Like, it's not even the show reference. It's just the
Producer,
production
yeah.
company reference.
Can I get up?
Yes.
Okay.
You're gonna edit this now.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Bye.